I said something. You had him in a nice balance and you had him nicely round and light in the contact. So without that I would have seen that. If I would not have seen that, then I would not have asked to get him a little higher and a little bit more energetic. So I'm not saying, oh, you should do that instead of the beginning. No, you have to have that beginning first. And when that is established every day, to say, all right, that I push it to the next little plateau. And that's a little bit similar for the candor. You have him now already more towards the plateau. You can try that for a moment. And if he finds then there a spot where you say, oh look, now he's higher, more energetic, and totally round up there, then it's fine. But if you go a couple of rounds, and yes, you have him higher, but he's coming not round enough, then you might want to think whether you then, like in the trot, first have him a little lower and rounder. That's up to you. Oh, it's nice. Good song. Right. And now one part is logically with all the horses over and over, that when you have that line up now you have him in the canter up and round enough. What I call the time factor, that you every day don't go 5 minutes where you keep him like that, but over and over you start making him more active. You start pushing him a little bit more onto the hand. You do on the other hand überstreichen to see is he carrying himself. And you can then also the one or the other time to go a little bit to the extreme, that you say, if I come with maximum up and forwardness, so for example if you go the one or the other long side to an extended candor, how is that working? Oh, jawohl. And then when you spend that time factor for a while that way on that candor, then you can start to say, now what about working with half-halls? Or what about working a little bit on straightening, that you have him in a slide shoulder 4 position, that he candors more straight. Then in that moment logically you would be careful not to go with to the maximum of forwardness or so, then you make a little more compromise. You have it a little bit more in a collected gait. Oh yeah. Excellent. Right. And then you can logically also, when I mention all this, I'm not meaning you have to do everything now, but just to point out that there is logically then also not a problem if you from here on start going a little lateral. That like we sometimes did it with ZAR 2, that you pretty much, you want to have the same contact or even connection. Here you gradually have even a connection, not only contact. And then rhythmically just gradually a little parallel to the wall, forward, sideward a little bit. So all those exercises make then sense to spend time with. Yeah. The right support here, remember the difference, that transition candor trot, where you ride as if you want to go medium trot, but you don't let it quite out in front. So you're not following with a passive following hand right after the candor. You go between passive resistant and maybe even for moments not allowing rein 8 where the armpits are closed. Because that's most of the time the first situations right after the candor, where they suddenly allow the not allowing, but still step through behind enough. Logically only briefly for a couple of steps, or for one long side, or one diagonal, or one half circle or so, and then you get a little light again. nice. All right. About it.